Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a fantastic day so far. I hope today's been treating you well. In today's video I have got so much new makeup from CATRICE. I feel like CATRICE are just launching so many incredible new products recently that I am very interested in, such as... Look at this packaging. This is a bronzer. I didn't realise actually when I ordered this, I thought that this was going to be like a bronzing stick, and it says on here, bronzing cushion stick. So I'm very excited to get into this one. As you can see, it is all still sealed. I don't know what this is going to be like, but very, very excited by that. We've got a blush lighter stick that's like blush on one side, highlight on the other. It's like a half thing and it's orange. So very excited about that. We've got a red, like burgundy coloured mascara. There's a new foundation, and like just prepare yourself for the jump scare here of how badly I picked my shade online. I'm going to mix it with some bronzing drops and try and make that work. But let's just start with the primer. This is the Protector Hydrate and SPF Primer with SPF 30 and hyaluronic acid. I love a skincare primer makeup step sort of hybrid. I have been loving all summer long the e.l.f. one, and I have like one use left in this, so like I'm desperate to find me a nice skincare based primer that also has my SPF in it. And I don't mind an SPF 30 just for an everyday, like if I'm going to work and I'm going to be spending most of the day inside, I don't mind an SPF 30. So let's see. Ooh, that's a lot more liquidy than I was expecting. Okay, should I have shaken this up? I don't think so. I don't think I needed to shake that up first, but let's apply liberally, even though it is already the evening and I'm not going outside today, but let's just apply a lot. Don't I look great? If you've made it this far into the video, why can I not get that back on? Hello? Why was that so difficult? If you've made it this far into the video, please like this video if you're enjoying it so far, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. I post at least 3 times a week on a Monday, Wednesday and a Friday, and I'd absolutely love to have you in our little crazy corner of the internet. This feels lovely. This feels really, really nice and hydrating. It's not leaving the skin looking white. I do feel like my skin is looking really nice and glowy. First impression, like this primer a lot. It feels really, really nice and thin, like a serum, but that is drying down and giving my skin a little bit of a grippy, tacky feeling. So I like that a lot. I feel like that looks really, really nice. So like I say, for the foundation, I didn't do too well picking the colour. This is the Invisible Cover Foundation. I don't feel like this is going to be invisible on me because it's completely the wrong shade. But natural matte foundation, love that. Lightweight, long-lasting formula with medium buildable coverage, also love that. It's got hyaluronic acid and aloe vera. This is the shade 005 Warm. I'm going to mix this in with some bronzing drops to try and get the shade that I need. So it has got a pump on the top, and like I say, mixing it in with some bronzing drops today because absolutely not my shade. So I'm just using the W7 bronzing drops. I thought I'll choose something that is a similar sort of price point, so that's pretty much 50-50, and I'm just going to mix these together with the end of a brush, and let's try and make this colour work. It is also a very, very exciting day in the Millie Davison household. It's new sponge day, which always makes for a good day. So let's slap this on. I feel like that was the right amount of bronzing drops to try and make this foundation work, and I'm going to blend this out with that brush sponge. Okay, so obviously it's semi-hard to tell because I have mixed this foundation in with those bronzing drops, but I feel like that looks lovely. I wouldn't necessarily want any more coverage than this, so I feel like I knew that this foundation was going to be too much coverage for me just on its own. I knew that I was going to have to mix this in with a bronzing drop, and that's why I got that shade. I knew that. I did well there. I feel like mixed in with that bronzing drop, it's the perfect colour for me, so that's good. I also didn't use all of that product, so I am just going to, it says it's buildable, I'm just going to build it up a little bit where I've got bit of redness down the centre of my face. I have also like taken that across the eyes. I don't have a new concealer, but I have a Catrice concealer that I'm going to use, but I feel like that looks lovely. So obviously we've got that hydrating primer on underneath, and I feel like that is adding a nice bit of glow. I feel like that looks really, really nice. You can still see my freckles, but you can't see the redness, you can't see how dry my skin is. Can't see any texture or anything like that. I just feel like that has veiled over everything. I really, really like that. I'm interested to see how this is going to wear, which obviously I can't do today because like I say, it's already the end of the day, but I'm just going to go in with a tiny bit of the Catrice True Skin High Cover Concealer, and I have this in 002 Neutral Ivory. I'm just going to add a tiny bit right like into the eyes. I'm like looking for my brush. I'm just going to tap that out with my concealer brush because I feel like I don't need that anywhere else. My skin is in a good place, so I'm happy with how that's looking everywhere else. I feel like even very, very close up in a mirror, that looks basically undetectable, but also really like flawless. I really, really like that combo. So I don't have a new brow product. I am, however, going to use a Catrice one because it's one of my favourites. This is completely worn off. Catrice Brow Stylist in Perfect Brown ? So I'm just gonna go off and do my brows because I can't do those and talk at the same time, and then we can get into that bronzer. I'm very interested by the idea of a cushion bronzer. I will be back when I've got some brows on my head. Okay, so brows are on, and let's get into this packaging because like I said, I'm very, very intrigued by the idea of a cream liquid cushion bronzer, and like honestly this packaging just is very, very interesting to me. So I got this in, when I first added this into my basket, I got it in the lightest shade. It came in 3 different shades, and then by the time I went to check out, it had sold out. So I ended up having to get the second shade, which is C02 Son of Mykonos, and it says shake well before use. Did you see that? It just jumped out onto my finger. Right, so shake well before use. Let's do that. So, do I... Why does it keep jumping out? I'm scared. Is something meant to be happening? What do I do? Tell me how to use you. Oh, right, there we go. Yeah, so you twist up the bottom. Right, I'm covered in bronzer. One moment. The chaos. The chaos. We're like 2 products in. I can't deal with this. Right, so you twist it and the product comes up through that little hole. I don't love that. I would prefer it to like come through the sponge, come through the cushion rather than... You know, I feel like that would just be easier. So, because this is the second shade rather than the lightest shade, I am just going to use a tiny a tiny bit of this. She says that she just applies loads of it, but let's see how that looks. I mean, that looks questionable, and I'm just going to use a Real Techniques, what are you, Expert Face Brush. Okay, that colour's okay. Don't panic, that colour is okay. Let's blend her in. Okay, so I feel like that has set down quite quickly, and in some areas I feel like that's looking a little bit patchy. I did also just take a little bit on my brush and like run that down the sides of my nose, and I feel like that looks a little bit crazy. It is a nice amount of pigmented where it like blended out, but it's quite hard to just get a small amount of it to like do the sides of the nose or like to add a little bit more. I like the colour, I like the finish, I like the way that it looks and the way that that blended out. I don't like the packaging. The packaging was interesting and yeah, it works, but that feels quite difficult. Like, it just doesn't need to be as difficult as that. I'm just not sure that that is going to be a go-to product for me, because that was just quite inconvenient to use in that packaging. I will say it is evening and the sun is coming round, so I'm getting a lot more light on this side of my face, and there's nothing I can do about that. I have all of my lights on at this side, but it's not counteracting. And also hay fever do be hay fevering, so yes, this eye is leaking, of course she is, and we're ignoring her as well. So let's go into the blush stick. So this is the Catrice Generation Joy Blush Lighter Stick in the shade 01 Flush of Joy. And if I get into this, look at that colour. Why is that like... It's got a hole in the top of it, but I think what I'm going to do with this is, again, I've got another Real Techniques Expert Face Brush, and I think I'm just going to swirl into both of these so that I get that orangey, blushy, highlightery, all-in-one sort of a vibe, because I don't want a stripe of blush and then a stripe of highlight. I just want it all to be blushy, highlightery. So let's see. I really like that. That is really, really glowy, but also I feel like still a really great amount of orange. I love an orange blush. I know it's not for everybody, but I love an orange blush. That looks so glowy. Oh, I love that. I love that. And yes, I'm biased because I love an orange blush, but that is so glowy, but also like still a really great amount of pink or orange. I suppose it's a pinky orange or an orangey pink. Am I going insane? Yes, I am. I'm just going to bounce over the edges with my sponge, and it all just looks really nice and like glowy and beachy now. I love that. We're on to a winner there. So let me wind that down, stick the lid back on, and what are we into now? Like, looking at my table, honestly, chaos. I'm just going to go ahead and put a little bit of bronzer, powder bronzer, through my crease, because the only eye products that I've got are a liquid liner. So I'm just going to use a little bit of the Barry M Tropical Heatwave powder bronzer, and I'm just going to wiggle this through my crease a little bit, because I don't want anything to overtake the orange liquid liner. I want to see how that's going to work. I don't want anything else on the lid, but I feel like you just need to add that shadow back in, you know? So that is the bronzer. And I'm just going to dive straight into this eyeliner because I'm very excited. It says open tip down. Okay, this is the Catrice Poolside of Life waterproof eyeliner in C04 Golden Hour, and it's got a little ball inside of it, which sounds interesting. Okay, so it's a felt tip. Looks like decently pigmented. Let's see what we can do with this. Oh, that ain't got a mirror in it. The day that I'm having. Let's try and do a bright orange wing. Okay, so that is not my favourite. Orange liquid liner. Yeah, I've got more. I love an orange liquid liner. I don't feel like that is showing up incredibly well. Like, it's not the most pigmented. I have other orange liquid liners that are almost like a white base. I just feel like that one's a little bit sheer, like you can't really see it all that much. Like, yeah, it's there, yeah, it's adding a little bit of something, but it's not like a graphic liner where I feel like I could do something, but like, I don't feel like I could do like a wing over quite a dark eye look and it show up. That's not my favourite, but you can see really close up now how beautiful those products are all looking on the skin. Like, look how glowy that blush is. I love how the base is looking. So I'm going to go ahead, whilst you're zoomed in, I'm going to go ahead and do the mascara because I'm very interested in this. This is the Generation Joy coloured mascara, and this is in C01 Real Rosewood. So that's what the wand looks like, just a very standard mascara wand. So I will do one coat on one side, 2 coats on the other, and we will see how this builds up. Okay, so that is 2 coats on this side and 1 coat on that side. I like the colour, I'm just not sure it's doing the most for me. I feel like if you were doing, sorry, I've got a really itchy nose. If you were doing like a very minimal makeup look, not with a bright orange wing, and granted, there's not much of a bright orange wing, but if you're doing like basically nothing on the skin, you just wanted a little something on the eyes, you were just doing like a lip balm, this is a very, very soft, light, reddy brown, almost pink. Like, I feel like you can see on the wand that this is quite pink. I don't think I realised that the name of this was Real Rosewood, but it really is like a pinky brown. I like it. With this one, I will be interested to see if I can layer this mascara over a black mascara to make it a little bit softer. If you haven't seen my channel before, I would absolutely love literally any brand to come out with a burgundy, reddy toned brown mascara, but I feel like this isn't quite the tone. It's close, but it's not quite dark enough or dramatic enough for how I like my mascara to be. This is still quite natural looking, quite sort of fluttery, lengthening looking. I do already have quite long lashes. I usually like to thicken them up a little bit rather than lengthen them and like separate them, but I do feel like it looks nice. I will try it probably in a short, like an Instagram reel and TikTok and all of those things. I will probably try this over a regular black mascara to see how that will work, because I feel like the colour is really nice. It's just not giving me the drama that I usually like in my mascara. It looks nice though if you're wanting a very lengthening pinky brown mascara. It's a very specific thing, but if that's what you want, that's really, really nice. Let me zoom you out and we can do the lips. So it's another Generation Joy product. This is the lip liner in True Tangerine. I love an orange blush, I love an orange liner, and I love an orange lip. So I'm just going to overline the lips a little. I did have some lip balm on earlier today, but it's all gone now. So let's see. It looks like this will be quite creamy. Okay, I didn't realise. I didn't realise before I started applying that that is cold minty plumping. So creamy, so incredibly creamy, so pigmented. I love that lip liner. I actually brought over another CATRICE product, which is the hydrating lip stain in So Apricot, because I thought that this was just going to be a lip liner. I have fully covered in the lips with that. So that is the finished look. That is everything that I picked up recently from CATRICE. So what do we think of everything? The primer, I think that is lovely. If you have dry skin, really, really nice and hydrating, really nice and glowy, but also left the skin feeling a little bit tacky. Really, really like that, and I love that it's got the SPF in there. Even if you're using this, and I recommend that you use this over the top of your SPF, just for an extra little bit of something. Like, don't just rely on this as your SPF, especially if you're as pale as I am. Really, really like that. I love the way that that foundation mixed in with the bronzing drops. Firstly, to make my actual shade, and secondly, just to probably dial down the coverage a little bit. I feel like the coverage would definitely have been too much had I just used that on its own. So I love that that mixed in with the bronzing drops worked the way that it did. The bronzer, I'm not sure I like. I'm gonna have to keep on playing with that one. I'm just not entirely sure. I think I'm gonna have to keep on playing with that one. I just, first impressions, I'm not completely sold on it, but I will keep on playing. I love the blush. I feel like that added the nicest glow to the skin. Really, really like that. The liner, the eyeliner, I'm not sold on. I have other eyeliners. I have other orange eyeliners that I prefer over that one. It's not the best. It's fine if you're on a budget, and I mean, I have others that are cheaper than this one. Not my favourite. The mascara, again, I'm gonna play with it in a slightly different way. I would probably do a short form content somewhere with this mascara over the top of a regular black mascara that will add that volume, and then this just to add that little bit of colour. I think that that will be fun. And the lip liner. I love that lip liner. Like, I'm gonna go on to, I got all of these bits on the Notino website. I'm gonna go on there immediately and see what other shades they have in this lip liner. Generation Joy lip liner with plumping effect, contains menthol, do not apply to sensitive or irritated skin. I love that. That is the perfect orange tone for me. I feel like with the lack of stuff on the eyes, I feel like this looks a little bit crazy, but I love that lip liner, and I love how the base looks with that glowy blush. I think that that looks beautiful. So let me know, have you tried any of these bits from CATRICE? I would love to hear what you think of them as well. Have you tried this lip liner? Why have you not told me about it before? That is the win for me. I love that. It feels so nice and hydrating as well. I absolutely love that. So if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up if you haven't already, and you've enjoyed my ramble in here. I would love it if you would subscribe down below. I post at least 3 times a week on a Monday, Wednesday and a Friday, but it's always more often than that because guess what? I get overexcited about makeup. But until next time, thank you ever so much for watching. Bye.